Cancer. It's a word that touches almost every family, and so often it's wrapped up in a lot of fear and just plain misinformation. So, in this explainer, our goal is to cut right through all that noise. We want to replace that fear with facts and turn anxiety into empowerment. So, let's just start with the biggest question of all. What is cancer, really? When we say that word, what are we actually talking about? Because, getting a handle on this at a biological level, that's the very first step to demystifying this whole thing. So here is how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll get into the core idea of what cancer is. Then we'll look at the known causes. After that, we are going to debunk some really common and dangerous myths. Then we'll talk about prevention and the power you have. And finally, we'll cover the key warning signs to look out for. 5 simple steps to get you in the know. Okay, let's dive right in. To really get what cancer is, we've got to think small, like really, really small, because it all starts with the tiniest building blocks of our bodies, our cells. See, at its very heart, cancer is basically a breakdown of the rules. Our cells, they normally follow this really strict life cycle, right? They grow, they divide when we need new cells, and this is key, they die when they're old or damaged. Cancer is what happens when those signals get all mixed up and that whole orderly process just goes haywire. The cells just keep growing and dividing, completely blowing past all the stop signs. And this chart, wow, it really nails the difference. On the left, you've got order. Healthy cells do what they're told. They grow, divide, and die on a schedule, and they stay put. But then you look at the cancer cells on the right. They're like total rebels. They grow without any control, they divide like crazy, they refuse the signals to die, and this is the really crucial part. They can start to invade nearby tissues. And that ability to spread, which has a name, metastasis, that's what makes cancer so dangerous. It's when these rogue cells travel and start setting up shop, making new tumors in totally different parts of the body. And this highlights a really important point. Cancer isn't just one disease. It's actually a catch-all term for more than 100 different diseases, all defined by where they start and how they act. So this leads to the next logical question, right? What causes these cells to start breaking all the rules in the first place? Let's take a look at the risk factors we know about. These changes in our cells, these mutations, can be kicked off by a few different things. The absolute biggest one that we can control, tobacco use, no question. But other things play a role too, like exposure to harmful radiation, think UV rays from the sun, certain viruses like HPV, your family's genetic history, and of course, lifestyle stuff like a poor diet, not enough exercise, and obesity. Now, this is so important to get. A risk factor is about probability, not destiny. Having one or even a few of them does not mean you're doomed to get cancer. It just means the possibility might be higher. Every single case is different. Okay, this next part is a big one. We're going to tackle some of the most common and frankly dangerous myths about cancer head on. Because honestly, separating the facts from all that fear-fueled fiction, that's a super powerful tool. Let's start with a whopper. This is a myth that causes so much unnecessary fear and can make patients feel so isolated. It's the idea that you can somehow catch cancer from another person. Let's just be crystal clear on this one. It is absolutely 100% false. Cancer is a disease of your own cells going wrong. It's not like a cold or the flu. You can't get it from touching someone, hugging them, or sharing a meal. Now, there is one important little detail here. Some viruses that can raise your cancer risk, like HPV, are transmissible. And that, right there, is exactly why vaccines against those viruses are such an incredible tool for prevention. All right, next up is maybe the most damaging myth of them all. It's the belief that hearing the words, "you have cancer," is an automatic death sentence. Thankfully, this idea is just so outdated and so wrong. The world of cancer treatment has changed dramatically. The reality today, it's that thanks to some truly incredible medical advances, many types of cancer are treatable, and a lot are even curable, especially when they're caught early. Seriously, early detection is a total game changer. There are countless people out there who are now cancer survivors, living long, full lives after their treatment. So we've moved from what's false to what's true. And now let's talk about what's actionable. This section is all about empowerment. It's about the proactive steps you can actually take to help lower your risk.
And this is where you have some real power. Quitting tobacco is number one for a reason. It is the single most impactful thing you can do. But it doesn't stop there. Things like maintaining a healthy weight through diet and exercise, getting vaccinated, protecting your skin from the sun, and just being aware of your environment. These are all powerful, proactive choices. And these small, everyday decisions can make a gigantic difference.
And that brings us to our fifth and final point: awareness. Prevention is huge, but so is knowing how to listen to your body and recognizing when it's time to see a doctor. Because early detection, well, it saves lives. Now, look, this list is not here to make you panic. It's here to help you be aware. The absolute key word for all of these is persistent. If you have something like significant weight loss you can't explain, or a cough that just won't quit, or you're just exhausted all the time and it's not getting better, if it sticks around for a few weeks, that's your body sending you a signal. It's time to get it checked out. You know, if there's one thing to take away from all of this, it's this simple idea. Yes, cancer is a serious topic, but it doesn't have to be a terrifying one. Understanding what it is, what the real risks are, and what you can do about it, that's the best way to kick fear to the curb and get back a sense of control. And that really brings us to a final thought. This isn't about changing your entire life in a single day. It's just about starting somewhere. So think about this. What's just one healthy choice, big or small, that you can make for yourself starting today?